Greetings, Zwifters. Sure you're wondering why I'm wearing this ridiculous outfit? It's time for a heat session. Just realized I didn't put shoes on, so gonna do that. I'm gonna call today's session Tour de Heat. I'm riding a Tour de Zwift ride. Let's see, we got 9 minutes. I'll hop in with Maria for now. Shh. Start some dual recording, why not? So today I want to do a heat session with a heat training load of 8 or more, trying to get up to 100% adaptation, which is proving more challenging than I realized, because as you get close to 100%, it gets harder to get the adaptation. Let's see, the camera's a little off. Let me tweak it. Just now it's a little off the other way. Better or worse, I don't know. Anyway, legs aren't fresh because yesterday I led my 100-kilometer pizza burner, but they're fresh enough to do to do a heat training session, basically. So you don't really need high watts. You can do zone 2 power and get plenty of heat training done. Today what I'm wearing is thermal bib tights that are full-length bib tights. These are vintage, man. I think they're Nash Bar bib tights. I bought them when I first got back into road cycling, like 11 years ago, 10 years ago. Also wearing this jacket that I bought on Amazon. It was $40 for the jacket and the pants. Heat training suit is basically what it's sold as. The pants, I don't like wearing baggy pants on a bike. That's weird. And I don't need them if I have thermal tights on. But the jacket does most of the heavy lifting here in keeping me extra warm. It captures all that heat from my core, keeps it near my skin. I'll bring up the core sensor menu or HUD. I wish Zwift showed all the metrics that the core app shows, so I didn't need to run the core app. But it doesn't, so here we are. You can see at the bottom of my ride stats panel, it tells me what my core temperature is, as well as my current heat strain index. But those are only some of the metrics. They are the most important ones. but it would be nice, for example, it'd be nice to have a heat training load number. Heat training load is like the actual, it's a 0 to 10 rating of the actual load that you've accumulated for in a particular session. So kind of the lowest is a training load of 2. It's about the lowest you can do that'll move the needle, so to speak. But it goes all the way up to 10. I found that on like legit heat training days, when I actually put in a full hour plus of targeted heat training, I will get 8 to 10 as my score. Getting 10 actually, 10 you kind of need to ride a little longer, 75 minutes or so. Or in theory, just ride harder. But it's not always easy to do. So today I'm going to ride the short route of Tour de Zwift Stage 1 as part of my heat training session. That'll get me, 40 minutes of riding. We'll see how hard I want to go on that. I'll be doing kind of zone 2 plus power, would be my guess. As long as my legs are happy. Heading to McCurry. I'm going to put some gloves on. I like to wear gloves all the time, especially with heat training. It's because so much sweat dripping on my hands otherwise, or off my hands. I just don't like the way it feels. Oh, we got a nice little bunch. 140 riders. Guessing we'll probably have some chatter along the way. Also have the heater on in my room. I don't have it on now, but I did because it's my office. So it's probably about 70 degrees in here. I've also closed the door to the office, so there won't be a lot of airflow. It'll get a little more humid as we go. Anyway, all those things are helpful for getting the boosting your skin temperature as well as your core temperature. It's a combination of those two things that determines what your heat training load's going to be for the ride. You can get a lot more heat training load in a ride if you start with some high efforts. Get your body to dump a lot of heat into itself. early. So I'm hoping I can do some of that in this ride. Again, I won't be going race pace or anything like that, but something other than low zone 2 will certainly do the trick. I haven't started sweating yet, but it's going to happen soon. Give me 3 minutes. Here we go. Let's switch to first person view. Let's pull up my stats again. I found for me, like 230, 240, it's a good power level to get myself hot quickly, but without burning up my legs. You'll see my core temp number in that ride stats panel. You'll see it climb. And then eventually you'll see the HSI number start to climb. Once core temp and skin temp get high enough. Got to get HSI up to 5.0 or so to really start accumulating a lot of training load. That usually takes 30 minutes of riding or so. But it all depends on how fast you're going, how hard you're pushing, and what you're wearing. This is fun. A little more motivating to keep the power up, hang with others. Well, it's fun for now, but I'm also not really sweating. I feel the pores starting to open up. Our electrolytes in my 2 bottles. Everybody right on. Pretty simple route today, flat, except for when we get down to Murukazi, you have to climb up to the Shisa Sprint. Kind of a corkscrew climb. That's the first climb of the day. Then you got to climb up through the Pain Cave, or Pain Cavern as well. 2 climbs, similar in height. Similar in length, I guess, too. Oh yeah. Sweat is happening. Nice little pace in this group. You can see clearly my body isn't hot yet because my heart rate's only at 141. My body hasn't decided, okay, we need to kick up the heart rate and cool this guy off. That'll happen soon enough, though. Sweat dripping down my face, so. Saving my feather for the climb to the Shisa Sprint. We were getting caught by a big group from behind. Now the question is going to be, do I push a little harder and go with the riders that are going to jump out ahead? It's a big group. There they are. Starting to come through. Ooh, HSI jumped up. I wasn't paying attention. It's at 1.5. Each train's index is climbing nicely. I love this bit of road. I call it the Slot Canyon. It's like the scenery. Super epic. All right, got some gaps forming behind us. Bridging up to some riders ahead. It's a nice effort level where my legs aren't burning, but I'm putting in enough watts to dump a lot of heat into my core and get the heat training done. I feel like 240 is the magic number for that. I also like the Slot Canyon because it's downhill. I never seem to enjoy the Slot Canyon as much in the other direction. Wonder why that is. Loop up the road, staying away. Okay, it's follow. I'm gonna get my heart rate down below 150. Core temp 100.2, skin temp 97.3, heat strain index 2.7, almost a 3. Heat strain index 3 is where you start accumulating real adaptations. It's kind of the minimum. I'm not going to survive in this group on the climb. All right. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Here comes the climb. To the top. Can we do it? Nope. Should have kept pushing. And that's a surprising bridge. I glanced up and thought I hadn't made any progress, so I gave up. Glanced up again and I was 5 seconds off. Really got a little climb here too. Four attempts at 101.2. Anything over 101's gonna do well for heat training for me. Skin temp's 97.9. HSI 4.6. And I'm dropping off. Officially up in that zone where the body's saying it's too hot. Gonna kick up the heart rate a bunch. Gonna govern your output so you don't kill yourself. Try to get up to 5.0 HSI. Good chatter in today's ride. What's brimstone? Come on, everyone knows. Pain Cavern, here we go. Only 3K to go. It's gonna be slow though. Five 5.0 HSI. Yeah, baby. Really irritating about the Core app. The most irritating thing is that it doesn't regularly or quickly update your numbers as you're riding. So I want to see what my heat training load is. How many points from 0 to 10 I've accumulated so far. But it doesn't update consistently. So it's only showing heat training load of 0.5 right now, when it's probably more like 4, 3 or 4. Might update eventually, we'll see. But I never see my final number until I've been off the bike a while. It's annoying. Talking to the people at Core, they said they're working to improve that. So hopefully that'll be fixed soon. The figure 8 is where I usually get dropped. It's a little steeper. Nice consistent steep climb. Oh man. Heart rate's 158, 159. This is where I just have to just keep chugging along. 170, 180, 190. By rebooting the core app, let's see if it updates my HTL. It updated it to 2.8. It's progress. Minutes in. Probably go 75 minutes today. The best hack I've learned, this is a hack from the core folks themselves, is when you finish your session, get off the bike, don't just jump in the shower, take off all your sweaty clothes, and be done. Sit around, and spread a towel out, sit on the floor, preferably in your hot, sweaty room, and let your core temperature slowly come down, because you will accumulate quite a bit of heat stress during that time. I see, usually for me that takes about 15 minutes, and it usually adds 2 points to my 1 to 10 score. Something around 2 points, I'd say. Maybe today, at the end of the ride, I'll pause the recording and sit around for a little bit, let the heat training finish, and then I'll finish the recording by telling you how much it added. No. So just keep riding. I don't understand the people who join a ride like this and then complain that the pace wasn't good. That typically the complaint is it was too hard for their training ride that they were supposed to do. There's 200 people in the ride. If the pace is too high, don't ride so hard. You gotta be willing to sit up and ride at the pace you want to ride at. Don't blame everybody else because you lack the self-control to do that. And the numbers on this particular event were pretty low because it's 2 PM in California. It's low time on Zwift. If you join a 6 a.m. or a 6 to 11 a.m. ride, California time, you might have 1,000 riders in there. Chances are really good you'll find a group riding at your pace, if you're willing to ride at your pace. It's 6.2 HSI. Probably a pretty good spot. Core temp 102.1. Might be time to open up the other flavor I bought of electrolyte powder. This pina colada. I've been drinking a lot of pina colada, you know what I mean? Need another flavor. Once I get up into the high HSI zones, like 6+, my power doesn't really want to go above like 160. 150. That's just kind of the cruising zone, I think, for my body when I'm running hot. Much sweat every time. I've been doing heat training rides almost every day for the last couple of weeks, and I feel like my body is just kind of confused about things like, how much electrolyte do I need? How should my muscles feel? Like, you keep sweating so much and trying to replace it. And things just aren't quite in balance. All right, 1 hour done. 2 big bottles of electrolyte done. That's 1,000 milligrams of sodium. I think 800 milligrams of potassium. And 200 or 400 milligrams of magnesium. That's what's in 2 bottles, 2 scoops, basically. My electrolyte powder. Stuff I've been using from a brand called EC Sports. And I use it because it's super cheap and tastes good. I've been really impressed with their stuff. Buy it by the can, and I've gone through maybe 3 cans. Shh, 6.3 HSI. Okay. So the pace is good. Keep it up around here. When I first started doing heat training, and I wasn't doing it consistently. I felt like every session was quite miserable. But now that I've been doing it steadily, they're still miserable. No, just kidding. They're better. I actually find that I kind of look forward to it in a weird way. It feels good to sweat. And even though my heart rate's just as high, I'm sweating just as much, theoretically, it just doesn't feel as crappy. Probably not 31 degrees right now. It was this morning. Definitely cold. Bet you it's below 50 at least. Anyway, I don't know where I stopped my previous statement, but this just doesn't feel as miserable as it used to. Part of it, I think a big part of it, is this outfit that I'm wearing versus the kind of painter suit, the white painter suit that Core sells, the Tyvek thing. I do not like riding in that. Mostly because of the baggy legs, I think. I don't like wearing a hood because it kind of catches on my head when I move my head. It's annoying. So I like this headwear system I've devised. It's a halo headband underneath a cycling cap. Team TFC. Yeah, baby! But that with these thermal tights and this jacket, it feels comfortable to ride. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing goofy clothes that bunch up in goofy places. I can stand up when I want to, not have to adjust things. And that helps a lot. It really does. HSI still at 6.3. Basically, after like 45 minutes to an hour, I just find this spot where I'm pedaling much easier than how I started. And my core temp and skin temp really aren't changing much. They're just they hold steady. So the HSI holds pretty steady too. And heart rate stays around the same spot too. Kind of mid 150s for me. How much more? I got 9 minutes left. And then I'm going to sit around and drip sweat for another 15 or so. If you're wondering, I've got a beach towel underneath me to catch all the drips that fall. Most of the drips that fall, at least. That towel will be close to saturated when this is over. And I bring a stack of hand towels as well. I like to have one on my bars. Usually I end up putting a second one on there after the first one gets pretty saturated. And then a towel to wipe my face. That one usually gets saturated too, and I need a second one. 4 hand towels and a beach towel. That's the cost of a good sweat session. I've been doing a lot of laundry loads that consists only of towels. In fact, I need to do one today. Sure. We can't see it in the camera, but sweat's dripping off my face. Probably a drop every second, I'm gonna say, on average. And the sweat's also dripping out of the end of my sleeves and off the towels on my bars, everywhere. So in weighing myself before and after these rides and how much water I drink during it, what I've calculated is I lose about 5 water bottles worth of water every hour. So I usually only bring 2 electrolyte filled bottles on a ride. There's just no way I can drink 5 in an hour. But afterwards, I make sure to drink a lot of water. And maybe even put some electrolytes in it. Eat some pickles, you know. All the important stuff. All right, 5 more minutes. This will be a 75-minute heat session total, because I had a warm-up before this. I'm recording it also on my Wahoo head unit here. I dual record most of my rides, just kind of out of habit. I have a Assioma Favero Assioma duos on here. If I ever want to, I can compare my pedal power meter to whatever trainer I'm on. I also have a data backup in case I need it. The effort for the day. Still 6.2 HSI. in communicating with the guy from Core, he said, because I've done a lot of heat training in a short amount of time, just 2 weeks or so, going from 0 to almost 90% adapted. He said it'll probably take my body 2 to 4 weeks to build up hemoglobin, boost the plasma volume to adapt to the heat. So, gotta make sure I eat right, drink lots of water, eat nutritious food, etc., etc. Two more minutes. 90 seconds, actually. We'll go to 37K. My heart rate's still 155. But I've only been doing, 130 watts? It's crazy. Amazing how the body works. I'm on 37K. There we go. The Core app right now says 5.4 heat training load. But there's no way it's that low. Bet you it's at between 7 and 8 right now. That's the annoying thing, not really knowing where you're at. But you figure it out pretty quickly after you do some sessions. You kind of know where things stand. All right. I'm going to pause the recording. Now we'll come back to report on final numbers. Stay tuned. All right, we're back, showered and dry. Final report is a 9.5 on the heat training load. So hit my target. That's it. Adios.